There are lots of spectacular places just an hour or two away from London by train. In this guide, I'll take you to 3 of my favorite day trip destinations. I'll show you how to get there and what there is to do once you arrive. From London, we'll head 55 miles north to the riverside city of Cambridge, home to the American World War II cemetery, the prestigious University of Cambridge, the legacies of Alan Turing and Stephen Hawking, and more than a few TV detectives. 45 miles to the south, we'll visit the seaside resort of Brighton, home to the famous beach, historic pier, Royal Pavilion, and the saucer-like I-360 observation platform. And last, but certainly not least, 90 miles west of London are the Cotswolds, known for rolling hills, charm-filled, honey-colored villages, an area of outstanding beauty that's home to the rich and famous. First up, it's an easy ride to Cambridge. You can get there in about an hour from King's Cross Station via the Great Northern Line, or from neighboring St. Pancras Station via Thameslink. The 2 stations share the same tube stop. When you arrive at Cambridge Station, you can Uber, taxi, or take a bus to the city center, or walk there in about 25 minutes. Founded in 1209, the University of Cambridge, with 24,000 students, is the 4th oldest university in the world. And in Cambridge, it's the main attraction. The best kind of campus orientation is a boat tour along the River Cam. That's called punting. Popular since 1902, a punter pushes the boat, called a punt, along the river using a long pole called a quant. Punting provides scenic views of historic bridges, striking architecture, and the riverside grounds of Cambridge colleges. As you walk along the streets, overflowing with history, you'll pass the Corpus Clock. It features a popular, if not frightful, time-eating grasshopper atop a large 24-karat gold clock face with ripples that symbolize the Big Bang. The impossible-to-miss, iconic King's College Chapel is a masterpiece of medieval architecture. Its fan-vaulted ceiling is the largest in the world, and its stained glass windows are irreplaceable works of art. As an active house of worship, the chapel is home to the world-famous King's College Choir. Cambridge has 8 university museums. If you're into dinosaurs, check out the Zoology Museum in the David Attenborough building. It's perfect for a quick visit or a long stay to really explore. Close to the university is the Eagle. It's an understatement to say that a pub, which opened in 1667, is rich in history. But of particular interest to World War II buffs is the RAF bar in the back, where Allied fighter pilots stationed near Cambridge wrote their names and squadron numbers on the ceiling, using wax candles, lighters, and lipstick. Today, those marks are a powerful reminder of British and American solidarity. When you arrive at Cambridge, or on your way back to London, especially if you're an American, take a bus or Uber from the train station to the Cambridge American Cemetery and Memorial. 3,811 American war dead were laid to rest here on a 30-acre site just 4 miles from the city. This beautiful cemetery includes a reflecting pool that leads to a chapel and a memorial wall that lists the names of 5,127 missing servicemen, most of whom died in the Battle of the Atlantic and the bombardment of Northwest Europe. Among those memorialized here are bandleader Glenn Miller and Joseph P. Kennedy Jr., the older brother of John F. Kennedy. Cambridge is an easy day trip. and you'll have no problem doing it yourself. The journey by train is stress-free, and finding your way around the city is a joy. If you want to learn more about the area's rich history, London Walks, the oldest walking tour company in the world, offers tours from London. Your guide will handle train ticketing, provide a motor coach to the American Cemetery, take care of your entry into King's College Chapel, and meet all your punting needs. Plus, get you back on your train to London. There's no easier day trip from London than Brighton Beach. With hourly train departures, tickets are usually inexpensive and always easy to book. In London, you should depart from Victoria Station or Blackfriars Station. That way, you can snag a connection-free 1-hour train to this beautiful seaside getaway. But be sure to get an open-ended ticket for your return trip so that you can stay late or leave as the sun sets. The Brighton station is large enough to accommodate a seemingly endless number of daily trains. From the station, you can take the bus to the beach, but the 15 to 20 minute downhill walk is an easy stroll. Just follow the crowd south along Queen's Road. If you're like me, the first thing you do at a beach is put your feet in the sand. But that's the one thing you can't do here. Thanks to the nearby chalk cliffs along the southeast coast of England, this wide, expansive beach is filled with pebbles. At least that's what they're called. To me, these are full-size rocks, and then some. On the plus side, your return trip will be sand-free. The Brighton Palace Pier, built in 1899 to replace a nearby pier, is as close to time travel as you'll get at a seaside resort. It's filled with turn-of-the-century charm, breathtaking views, and a ride-packed amusement park with bumper cars, roller coasters, and even a log flume. If you're an architectural or engineering buff, you'll find the view beneath the pier fascinating. At 1,700 feet long, it contains 85 miles of planking and 67,000 light bulbs. If you're lucky, you'll be there on lifeguard tryout day like I was. But if not, hopefully you'll be able to watch some pierside surfing, too. "4 million visitors a year make Brighton Beach one of the most visited destinations outside of London. There are hop-on, hop-off buses here, but if you're like me, the long waits for pickup between stops makes these a less than desirable option. But they can help you quickly get your bearings. If you're into history, museums, or if it's a rainy day, the Royal Pavilion and its surrounding gardens are more than worth a visit. Beginning in 1787, this former royal residence was built in 3 stages as a seaside retreat for George, Prince of Wales, who became King George IV in 1820. Queen Victoria sold the pavilion to the city of Brighton in 1850. After years of neglect, efforts to restore it to George's original vision began in 1920. When you tour the pavilion, you'll see the ornate banqueting room, the great kitchen, the royal bedrooms, the saloon, and the music room, with one of the most spectacular ceilings you'll ever see. At the far west end of the beach, about 1.5 miles from the pier, you'll find the colorful, iconic Hove Beach Huts. Today there are several hundred of them. They became a mainstay on the beach in the 1930s. These beach boxes provide privacy for swimmers and a place to store beach toys. All in all, kind of handy for frequent beach goers. As you make your way back up the King's Walk, you'll come to an upside-down house. If you haven't been in one before, it's a kind of cool experience. Once inside, you just grab hold of the furniture on the ceiling, a staffer shoots some photos, you flip them around in your phone, and leave with some fun pics. Nearby is the I-360, a 531-foot observation deck, a glass pod designed by the creators of the London Eye. After buying tickets, you might have to wait 30 minutes before going up. That gives you time to go through security and get a drink on the departure deck. As you board the giant pod, that's both elevator and observation platform, the size of its expansive interior will surprise you. This 46 million pound engineering marvel feels more like flying saucer than seaside attraction. As it gently rises 500 plus feet in the air, you'll see all that brought you to this seaside city. The White Cliffs and the Palace Pier to the east, the city center to the north, the Hove Beach huts to the west, and the English Channel due south. The I-360 delivers a one-of-a-kind viewing experience, and its design is as spectacular as the scenery. When aliens come, I hope they bring a bar just like this one. There's so much delicious food here, like fish and chips beachside at the Brighton Music Hall, or oysters with a view at Riddle and Finn's. In Brighton, you'll have no shortage of choice. The bus you skipped in the morning, you should hop on in the afternoon. It's all uphill from the beach. On your way back to the station, notice the many music venues in this incredibly diverse city. With 340 pubs, a good time in Brighton is a sure bet. Now, on to the Cotswolds. Unlike Cambridge and Brighton, you really do need a guided tour to see the Cotswolds in just one day.
Come and have a look at the village. We walk along the path here a little bit further.
That's because this isn't just one place. It's a sprawling area that includes beautiful market towns, picturesque rolling hills, idyllic honey-colored stone villages, vibrant gardens, historic sites, beautiful churches, and a tranquil atmosphere that inspires locals and draws visitors by the busload. From Paddington Station, you can get to the area by train in about an hour and a half. But from there, you really need an expert guide to help you get the most out of your day. Lots of companies offer tours. I use London Walks because I have for years. Their guides handle everything, from train ticketing to motor coaches. And they really know the area. But there are lots of other tour options. So, choose the best rated one that fits your schedule. All of the tours have different itineraries. Once the guide got our group to Kingham Station, on the edge of the Cotswolds, the real tour began. A 30-minute drive brought us to Chipping Campden, a wool trading center in the Middle Ages. We walked the high street lined by buildings from the 14th to the 1800s, saw the market hall, and toured the Church of St. James. We traveled through the larger village of Broadway and the tiny Snow's Hill, atop one of the walls, or hills. And we walked across fields, over clapper bridges, and through kissing gates, making our way from Upper Slaughter to Lower Slaughter. No worries, the names don't refer to massacres, but rather to wetlands. We passed a priory confiscated by Henry VIII and sold off as a private manor. It's said, if you want to feel what England was once like, you should come to the Cotswolds. With a tour like this, the motor coach quickly positions you for each walk, saving lots of time and allowing you to see much more than you could on your own in just one day. But if you have more than a day to spend in the Cotswolds, you can discover a lot on your own in a rental car. All three of these places make wonderful day trips from London. I hope this guide encourages you to venture outside the British capital. Keep in mind, though, there are places much closer to London that you can get to fairly quickly, including, just to the west of the city, Windsor, home of the famed castle, and Hampton Court, the one-time pad of Henry VIII. Just to the north is the cathedral city of St. Albans, and to the south is Richmond, or as Americans know it, Ted Lasso Land. All of these places are reachable in just 30 minutes to an hour. If this video's been helpful, like it and subscribe to my channel Newsocracy for more, including guides to historic London, to Richmond, and a 2-day guide to beautiful Cornwall. I'm Jim Albritton, and as always, thanks for watching.